My dear collective, welcome to another collective reading, random reading. Please see where it resonates because we're about to dive deep into these messages right now. A lot of it is going to be random shuffling instead of specifics, but obviously take what resonates. I feel like it's in reference and alluding to what's happening in the retrograde, okay, on a universal scale, global scale, personal scale, okay. A lot of it had to do with chaos, um, and I'm just not speaking from. I would say this: me as somebody that's intuitive like this, and based on my chart, I don't get affected by the retrograde craze like everybody else. I know it's a buzzword, like how people be like twin flame this, twin flame that. When Mercury retrograde hits, like when anything goes wrong, everybody's like, oh, it's because of the Mercury retrograde. I barely, if not at all, get affected by the Mercury retrograde craze like everybody else. Okay, that's just what it is. But today, this retrograde, I can attest that I see the fuckery. I see the fuckery. Okay, because boy oh boy. But let's just start with the specific first. Okay, and then we can go into that. Hello, collective. Welcome, BK Oracles. We're gonna start first with the nice messages. Okay, congratulations to anyone that's having babies right now. Baby boy, there's gonna be so much blessings around this new chapter, new baby. That's a message for somebody. I also channel midwife. You could be the midwife that have been blessed by a new chapter of pregnancy, or yeah, I don't know. I've got babies and then midwife. Congratulations, you guys are blessed. Okay. You could also be a very empathic person, sensitive person right now because of the pregnancy. Whether you are a midwife or not, you could be feeling the effects of this new chapter in a very sensitive way, just more so than others. Just like how I don't feel the effect of the Mercury retrograde, you might be extra sensitive than other pregnant people. Or maybe your midwife is having a more sensitivity to you when it comes to your child. Okay, here we go. I'm channeling Aries, Jennifer, Pisces, Scorpio, Libra, Cancer. Could be relevant. Okay, there we go. Now, on to the nitty-gritty. Well, there's one more positivity. So we got 777 and 999. Long story short, you guys are protected heavy right now, especially if there's some fuckery spiritually, but also on the physicals. For instance, as an example, if people are harassing you spiritually, but also literally in the physical, your spirit team, the universe, God, angels, all of that is like keeping an eye on you, so you are like protected. Okay, so that's for somebody. All right. But if we're gonna separate it, 777 is either yes, confirmation, protection from the angels, things going in your favor. 999 is a completion, something new will have to happen. If so, something needs to end. Okay. I have to be honest. I low-key kind of refilmed this because the way I was coming off in the first video, it wasn't given. Okay. I would say that. The energy was actually, I don't feel good actually, but I do feel good enough to do this reading. Okay. And that's due to the Mercury retrograde energy that I'm telling you guys. I get it. I feel it now. I get it. Okay. So we have the Matrix, Kali. So Kali could be reference to California, okay, Kali, or it's in reference to Kali Ma, okay? Then we have rob. When I did the other reading, rob was symbolic for robbing somebody, stealing from somebody, and not the name. Okay. And lastly, we got gentrification. These are the specifics, and then we're gonna do the whole random shuffling. Okay. So first things first. Something is happening in California. You could be from there, they could be from there, or this is in reference to Kali Ma. Let me show you guys. Let's see. So you go. Okay, this one. I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of TRUTH of who I am. Okay, so basically, this is also giving me 999 energy, where it's like you're forced to leave something for your new chapter. Even if you don't like it, it's kind of like this is a do or die change. Okay, it's kind of like 555, but on stereo 555 times 2. You get me? Okay, that's basically what 999 is. And you can link that to Kali if you want to, because it's giving the same energy. She's the one that comes in and cut off people, places, and things, and that shit. There's no returning. When it's cut off, when it's done, it's done. You cannot return to it. You cannot look back. That's it. Okay? I'm getting also another analogy where Lot's wife, when she turned around, and I think the prophecy was that she was nobody was supposed to turn around, because if you do, disaster happens. But the saying was Lot's wife turned around and she was turned into a pillar of salt. Okay, we can do this different ways, collective, biblically, spiritually. You got me. 999. It is like, do not look back to the past, because you're gonna drown in that shit. Don't drown with the past. Okay. I say this to say, there's this soul meditation here. It says, what is falling away from my life right now that don't, so basically that's the question here. What is falling away from my life right now that doesn't serve me? Okay, so if you know something, this also reminds me of 666 energy, but if you know something is not good for you and you keep on going back or keep on doing it and you know it's not helping you, like, I feel like that's what needs to be put to an end. You kind of have to reflect on that. We all have to, okay? Because if you don't, going back to the Mercury retrograde of how people like don't deal with people from your past, that could also be symbolic. For instance, your ex came back, or that toxic family member, or that toxic friend, gonna be like, you know what? Let's white flag, work it together, okay? And Kali Ma, or if we're gonna go back to the Bible, God is like, I told you when it was over and done with that person, that place, it was done. If you do, you're going to turn into salt. Okay? Better yet, Kali Ma might also cut off your head because you decided to go down with the people that wasn't good for you. I don't know how to rephrase this, collective, but you get me, right? So it's either California or whatever we just said right now. Okay? So that's somebody's message. So just be aware. This is, I feel like, all intertwined with the Mercury retrograde. People want us to be stuck with people, places, or things. Okay? Lordy Lord. Now, in terms of rob, somebody wants to rob you of your power. They don't want you to be empowered or be empowered. So, for instance, if you love yourself, somebody hates this, okay? It could be one person, it could be multiple people. I don't know why, but somebody's really trying hard for you to not see yourself in the light that you are, like in your power, okay? Somebody doesn't want you to claim your power, okay? but it could also be like be empowered. For instance, loving yourself, or getting a promotion. Maybe somebody is trying really hard for you not to get promoted, or um, get something, or be acknowledged. Because if you do get acknowledged or get something, or this will give you more power or recognition. It could be one people. It could be one person or multiple people that don't want you to either be empowered collective or be empowered. Okay, I know who these people are, but they're trying hard, and I feel like because of the Mercury retrograde, they're like, there is their time to shine, to make sure that you won't get where you need to get to, or be who you're supposed to be, which is in power, or empowered. Okay, excuse my speech impediment, but I feel like I'm doing pretty well. So let's continue. Okay, the people or person that's trying to do this, in terms of the fact that they don't want you to be claiming your power collective. This is somebody that's very insecure. Okay, they don't believe in themselves. They don't even trust themselves. They don't have no power. But for some reason, they don't have no power. They don't feel good about themselves. For some of them, they could be in power, but you getting that recognition, or you climbing up that ladder, will make them even feel worse about themselves. Okay, for a lot of you guys, it could also be family members for some of you guys. For others, it's corporate, it's work, it's a life, it's stranger. There's people you do know and people you don't know. But for some of you guys, heavy on family for some reason. But if you're going to base it on tarot, strength card in reverse is a Leo, a toxic Leo. So that could be relevant. For a lot of you guys, it is people from the past. Like I said, people that you have reconciled with, or people you don't want to meet anymore. You said it's over and done. And that could be anyone that you just said like, I don't think so, and they were trying to like, well, let's do this one more time again. And you said you did that shit. You called him all that shit, okay? Because you didn't want to turn into what? Salt. You didn't want to get your head chopped off. You didn't want to drown in the waters with the same people that, well, they didn't serve you, okay? These are the people, for some of you guys, that don't want you to claim your energy or be empowered, okay? Make it make sense. A lot of them was trying to take your kindness for weakness, okay? A lot of them are like, if she or he collective gets empowered by themselves, or get in power, whatever power means, right? In you guys, because it's subjective. Because, for instance, if you have peace, for you that could equate to power, right? But other people, they equate power to money. Other people, they equate power to status. It kind of depends, right? A lot of people equate power to having a huge following. Like, you get me, okay? So I say this to say, they don't want it to be like this, free, basically. And for a lot of you guys, that's your power. You being free. Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, they don't want you to be free. They're trying to rob you of your power, or for you to not be empowered, okay? I feel like they're very upset, which is kind of odd. That means that you're getting whatever you're trying to do, literally, spiritually, it's not working. So, okay, collective. I know, but maybe you didn't do anything in terms of protecting yourself. Maybe you just kind of like let it go, like Kalama said, cut it off. Just don't worry about it. Don't look back. And maybe you didn't react, and that in its sense, you climbed up the ladder. So maybe stagnation. Well, I would say this: if they're getting angry and upset, that means whatever they were trying to do, that person, those people, in terms of taking your power, robbing you of your power, it didn't work. So, message, okay? Let's see, anything else? So, we get gentrification. Now, this thing right here, I know that this is also human stuff, okay? Everybody knows what gentrification means. Let me just say this. This is matrix based, okay? Fun fact, when I was on my way to do a little mini grocery shopping, because I wasn't feeling 10-10 today, and like I said, it had to do with the energies that's happening, the shift, and certain people, okay? And yeah, it wasn't 10-10. It wasn't 10-10 for me at all, okay? Especially a couple of few days. Even though I've done readings, I have pushed through it, okay? Pushed through it, let me tell you. But I say this to say, like I said, I was on and about grocery shopping, and I was trying to connect my phone to the Wi-Fi system, and for like 2 seconds, it just made one of the Wi-Fi systems, you can like, like data, right? 2 seconds, it says make the matrix, and from then on, instead of being in this funky energy that I was in because of what was taking place shift-wise, I was like, you know what? Okay, I get it. Sometimes you just need that confirmation. Sometimes you just need that clarity. And I got it. So, yeah, I know what else to say. The Matrix, gentrification. That's taking place. Other things that are taking place as well is a lot of isms, okay? Now, I can share personal stuff right now, but I do feel like that is some matrix bullshit. Very simple, very quickly. A specific grocery store I go to that's close to my neighborhood, very, very much ethnic based, okay? Which is kind of quite odd. I live in a multicultural place. When I mean spaces that it's not so ethnic, again, very odd. The eyes are not on me, okay? But when I'm in ethnic places, the eyes are on me. If you get what I'm trying to say here. So I'm speaking about ICA. Okay, if you know, you know. If you live in Sweden, if you heard about ICA, that brand, you know what I'm talking about. I say this to say, twice I have been, the systems when I do self checkouts, it clamps up. Is that the retrograde? It could be, because it all happened in the span of this month, okay? And when I've been living in this area for as long as I have, the monitoring, the tailoring has been quite insane. It really feels like profiling. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I step in, and I don't be buying much at that grocery store. To be quite honest, I'm not gonna buy anything from that grocery store ever again. Even if it's matrix based, even if it's just like spiritual, what retrograde, that's the sign for me that like I'm gonna stop going to a place where they profile me, okay? And it's again very odd because that place very gentrified with ethnic people. I say this to say, yeah, there were people, as soon as I step in, they follow me, they check what I have, and it's not like I don't do huge grocery hauls at that place, but specifically that place, okay, for a lot of reasons, quality, staff management, etc. Hence why I do self checkout. So when that last security guard was like following me, and I was dressed very, not even ethnic, but I know I'm not really blonde and blue eyed and so on. And even so, there are other people that are ethnic, they're Asian people, they are Middle Eastern people, South Asians, Arabs, people from Balkan and so forth. So when I say ethnic, it's very much ethnic, okay? Mixed race people, etc. Okay, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's very much ethnic. So for me to be profiled like that is kind of odd. But it's by drunk people. I don't know if they have some sort of system, which I'm also being quite sus about. But I go in for a security guard, like that was like a month before this. Literally, the person runs. Okay, I walk in slow motion and walk in my face, runs, and just stares at me. And I'm thinking, whatever reason, the impression or anything gave you the energy of like, Taylor, this woman that's buying 3 items. Make it make sense, okay? This month, the same thing. The person left because it was just so funny. How can you walk in, okay, and the security guard just boom and then stares at me, and I'm looking at them and they're looking at me, and I'm like frowning, and then they just walk away. I don't know, that's like so weird. Like it's not like anything went off. There was no, because there was a system if somebody takes something or whatever the case may be. It's very odd, okay? The next time, which would be just the last time, and I'm thinking, okay, follows me, not in a crazy way, is a person that is ethnic, okay, Middle Eastern, Arab. For some reason, I managed to, there's like a lot of people there, but I managed to kind of zigzag my way to get what I need to get, but not to, again, at best 3 items, okay? Now my style is very, it's not even eccentric. It could be, but it's not, okay? So when this person couldn't tailor me the way that the other person did, as I was getting chips, okay, they have now removed the chips. It was like a promo chip situation. He was hovering over me. I was like, that's enough. The fact that you followed me, I'm kind of cool, whatever. And then you hover over me. It was literally, I'm here, collective, checking out the chips, right? And the person is like hovering over me like this. And I'm looking at that like, are you okay? Like, what the heck? And then I go to the checkout system, which, fastest way. All of a sudden, the system doesn't work. I didn't scan the things properly. I was like, you know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. My first link was because I go to different supermarkets, okay? Same brand. The thing is this, the other place is not gentrified, okay? And again, I don't get tailored or questioned or looked upon or followed, none of that. So my conclusion is I don't belong in the ethnic space even though I look ethnic, because for some reason a radar goes off. I know a lot of people might be like, oh my god, don't be too sensitive, it's not all that, it's whatever. Mind you, if there's like 10 people and no following, but when you're alone, they do follow you and they hover over you, and it's like every time you go there, and now the system is clammed up. Like, make it make sense, okay? So I'm now about to go to places that are not gentrified with ethnic people because clearly I'm not wanted there. I say this to say, it's a quite further distance, but it is what it is, okay? Is this a part of my training? Is this a part of my journey experience? It is, okay? I'm just sharing this because I know a lot of people react differently. And I also want to go back to, this is just profiling. It's not giving discrimination, racism, and so on. Because I've been subject of that bullshit, okay? I don't know if you guys have heard, but if you watch anything in terms of entertainment business, so on, Love Island, I'm a huge fan. Janae Craig just found out that her boyfriend of 1 year actively used her, okay? And it's also a full-blown racist. Like, it's another thing where you kind of like, you don't like certain preferences. The fact that her ex-boyfriend talked shit about her because of her skin. It wasn't, he literally said, I'm using the person that he's with. He's Dominican. She is African American or Black American. And he says to his friends that he's using this girl that he doesn't like because she's Black. No other reason. No other reason. Not even stressing too much, long distance relationship, they argue too much, they don't have the same goals. He literally said he's using her based on her skin color. What kind of bull? Listen, I shouldn't be upset like that because it's the Matrix, okay? I know what it is now, but it's shitty. Like, again, like I said before, I'm not gonna sit here like I don't be going through stuff, but I do see, and now it's even worse when it happens on a global scale, like worldwide, public, when you get humiliated in front of other people. It's crazy. And they don't see the problem. Like, the microaggressions is real. Like, yeah. I don't know. That show, like, because I'm not feeling that best, it's been my comfort show right now, so I'm like very invested, okay? I say this to say, I feel like they are trying to gentrify a lot of places, and it's gonna be more. For me personally, like, I haven't really experienced this experience, but the older I get, I'm kind of like, things are weird. A lot of people that are talking about the racism and the isms, when I was younger, I was kind of like, I don't see it. And as intuitive as I was, I didn't kind of let it get to me, but I really didn't see it. Like, the first time I faced racism that it clocked to me was when I was abroad, okay? And I blatantly heard somebody just call out to me, be like, I should go back to my home country. Meanwhile, like, I was just there on vacation. It was just the oddest thing. Right? It was in Australia, by the way. I love Australia, but Melbourne, I think it was Melbourne or Brisbane. One of the supermarkets, again, same thing with a supermarket. I know what it was, but like, yeah, it was just the oddest thing. And now when I'm like older, I see certain isms a lot of microaggressions. Like, you learn as you go, but it's really hard for certain people, certain demographic to feel free or be comfortable to be themselves when there is always a microscope. Yeah, especially from older people or for people that is like from the same ethnic group. Okay, I'm just speaking for myself, but like, just take the situation with Janae and Kenny, he is also ethnic. Like if you just go based on what's happening in the United States of America and how Trump wants to, gentrify the country, like Kenny himself, he is somebody that is not natively American. You get me? So like by that standard of their president is kind of odd again. And I've faced those type of isms where it's like, you two are ethnic. Why are you behaving this way? And it all comes down to skin color. It's really odd, okay? But I will say this, so when I was younger, as vocal as I am, it becomes more evident with time, okay? And I guess this is something where Spirit God wanted me to experience because, I know I'm sharing this, but I feel like this will clock for somebody, because I also know how things are systematically put, okay? And if I'm seeing this much more, then so be it. But like I said before, I saw the Matrix thing when I was shopping today, so the Matrix is gonna do what the Matrix is gonna do. It's designed to keep us stuck. It's designed to keep us placed in a certain way. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But how do I say this? Don't let it get to you. Like don't let it turn you into salt. Okay? Especially those that are spiritually in tuned, okay? We don't let it turn you into salt, aka salty. Because that's also a system to keep us stuck. Okay? Now for a year I've had issues with a certain person in my life that has been microaggressive. And if I explain it to somebody that's not ethnic, they will automatically deem it as sensitive or, sensitive. And it's really hard. And I don't know. It kind of, I will say this, it has affected my health in terms of anxiety. And I never really thought that I would be somebody to have like anxiety like this based on that. Because as vocal as I am, I'm kind of like, yo, if you say some bullshit, I'm going to say it back and I'm going to be vocal about it. But the devil is moving in on technicalities, okay? But again, I feel like it's an experience that the universe, God wants me to experience for some reason. And I just have to kind of go with the program, because at the end of the day, I know I will always be okay. Because if I didn't die when I was fucking a baby, this shit wouldn't kill me. So the show must go on, okay? There's about to be some clarity for you guys. And I also feel like this is also symbolic for God or the universe trying to cut some shit off from your life. I feel like judgment is about to take place, okay? And it's going to be a harsh judgment, harsh reality, just like I'm having a harsh reality of how people are moving, how things are set up and structured. I just kind of have to accept what it is, because again, the Matrix is going to be what the Matrix is going to be. The goal here is to get out of it. Okay? The King of Swords. No, the King of Wands. And the Stars. There's somebody that's going to give you some clarity and recognition. This would elevate you to stardom, collective, or you're about to be celebrated. Okay? So, a fire sign male or somebody that's very honest and loyal is about to give you some recognition, attributes, a new door, or freedom, okay? At least some clarity. Anything else? There's somebody that wants to come in, but with some sort of I'm here for you collective, but it's fake. Somebody wants to come in with fake love. They want to come in with an empty cup. They're probably very drained themselves, but the thing is this: they need you on your past. They need you on your past. They need you on their team, but they also, you know what I said about the Matrix situation? So this person needs you to be in your past, because if you're in your past, you guys can be on the same level. You guys can be salt together. Salt, okay? Because if you do not turn into salt, that means you're elevated. That means you are in your power. That means you are free. There's a specific person that wants you to be salt because they're salt as well. If they're salty, they want you to be salty. If they're hurt, they want you to be hurt. If they're bitter, they want you to be bitter. If they're angry, they want you to be angry. Somebody wants you to be stuck. Somebody wants you to hold on to the past. Be aware of that bullshit, okay? Heavy retrograde influences, okay? This person here is in conflict with themselves, and they don't want to be, you know what this is misery loves company. Somebody wants you to be miserable because they also are miserable, collective, okay? I'm also tuning into they're trying to siphon your energy, so it could also very much be energy vampires as well. There's a specific person that wants you to be stuck because they're stuck as well. If they're conflicted, they want you to be conflicted as well, okay? This is somebody that's empty and wants you to be empty. They know that you're heading for success. They know this. They know that the wheel is turning for you. Okay? Let's see here. On the card it says Scorpio, Pisces. No. Well, okay. Scorpio, Pisces, Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. I'm also channeling Aries and Libra. Those signs could be relevant. You or them. We get the High Priestess in reverse. Somebody here didn't do their research. Okay? Somebody here didn't get what they wanted when it comes to you. It could be a reaction. It could be some sort of proof or reaction. They didn't get it. Okay? So somebody was trying to fake the fun, thinking they could fool you, but they fooled themselves. Okay? Somebody also wanted to... I don't know if I believe this. I know a lot of people speak about this, but that person that wanted to fool you, collective, if you are spiritually in tune, maybe they wanted your gifts. So they were trying to take your gifts. If you're gifted, if you know what I'm talking about, this person was trying to do this. The person was trying to fool you, but they fooled themselves, okay? For a lot of you guys, it's an earth sign male or somebody that's very stable or is very stable in terms of finances. I wouldn't say mental, because why do you want to take from somebody else? So this is somebody that has money that wanted to take your gifts, but others is the earth sign male, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. I'm also tuning into Pisces, Sagittarius that is toxic, wanted to do this, okay? They didn't want you to be at peace. For some of them, they didn't want you to have a family. That's why they didn't want you to, that's why they wanted to steal a gift, because they didn't want you to have a family or love. Have your own family. Okay, love, children, that whole thing. If you get a partner and you're happy in love, this is going to make them crash out into psychosis. Well, that's, yeah. I feel like somebody is going to go mental if you get like the happy family, the Ace of Cups. Collective, there are people that you're going to celebrate with after this burden, after the stressor of the Matrix or the Mercury retrograde or any isms, anything that makes sense to you. You're about to get some sort of celebratory news, okay, after this shift. Now, I also want to say there is this 8-8 portal. Personally, for myself, I can attest that that's one of the shifts that I can document that has affected me in the sense of like how people get affected by the Mercury retrograde. That's something where I can feel like, oh yeah, I really need to be on top of my cleansing, my energy, my balance, everything, okay? Mentally, spiritually, all that. Because the way I get affected during the 8-8 portal is it's a different type of, oh, the game is on. Okay. Now that could be a link. This could be foreshadowing 8-8 portal. Like if you're one like me, like where things are in Mercury retrograde, you kind of like, now everything is good, everything is smooth. Like, you know, I don't deal with anybody from the past. My money is good, my health is good. Nobody's arguing. There's no drama with me or anyone else. Everything is, 10-10, right? Everything is 10-10. You might resonate with shit happening, take place during the 8-8 portal, okay? Because I'm one of those. Maybe you don't get affected on any transitions. Lucky you, okay? But for some of us, should be happening, okay? But yeah, like I said, this could be foreshadowing to the 8-8 portal as well. Yeah, I think I've said enough though. Should we wrap it up? I know it's like messages, but also rant. I know this was very much human based instead of like, spiritually based or romantic based. I know it's not giving love and lights, romance, and I'm sorry for those that were here for that, because I know that a lot of you guys watch my readings based on that. But this is gonna be one of those very realistic shit is happening, karmics and energy vampires and shifts, and our emotional well-being or spiritual well-being is a little bit chaotic, such is life on a spiritual level and on a human level. But the good thing is this: if we are destined to overcome, and this is just tests, we'll be good, okay? Because how I'm looking at it, just like how I saw this Matrix thing, during the Wi-Fi situation, this might all just be a test right now. So the only way up is only way up is up, I guess. Or the only way through is forward. I know. But collective, I'm about to wrap it up. Yes, I'm a Japper. I don't know what else to say. Anyone else that like, you know what? We're gonna wrap it up. We are. I'm gonna leave it with this. Justice will always be yours. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if you're on the spiritual path, see this as a test, okay? And tests are never easy. So there's that. But we have a card. So for those that believe in God, God will make a way for you. The universe, you get me. There's gonna be a way at the end of the day. See it as a test. So it's time to, send in our papers and wait for the result. And if God will make a way, there's only one answer to that. Amen or amen, right? Thank you so much, Collective. Much love to you guys. And see you in the next reading. Side note, if I am sounding a little bit, the energy is not 10-10, reasons, okay? But yeah, much love to you guys. Take care of oneself, each other. Don't get triggered. Stay balanced, stay healthy, meditate, eat well, or fast. If the nature is 10-10 in your country, be outside as much as you can. That is my personal recommendation. Do something fun, relax, rest, okay? Because again, it's all a test, okay?